welcome Dr. Leigh to Plymouth Canton Community Schools.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to be here with everyone this morning. I have about 15 minutes to chat with you, which is even less, because as a former 3rd through 5th grade computer specials teacher, I was out on bus duty at one time too, and I know how those don't always run on time. So I'm going to do my best to run on time. This is what I look like on Twitter. Some of you know me from there, and I'm going to chat a little bit about that in a moment. As Ellison said, I direct the Master of Arts in Educational Technology program, and my life for the past 8 years directing this program has been working with you. I teach online in the fall and spring, so it is extraordinarily awesome to see human beings out in front of me when I'm chatting. So thank you all for being here this morning. Again, we're running short on time, and I'm one person talking out to a lot of you right now, and there's not much that we can do hands-on. That's what this afternoon is for, and you have teacher-led professional development this afternoon, which is absolutely fantastic. This is a rudimentary attempt at drawing out my personal learning network. This is something I have teachers do quite often just to visualize the world around them and what sorts of things connect together to make us who we are. And I encourage, especially when you're using technologies, new technologies, to think not only about your classroom, think about other contexts in which technology is used as well. One for me is cooking. I use a lot of technology in my cooking, taking pictures and all sorts of stuff around there. And for your students as well, these different areas can be entry points to understanding what technology means to us. This is a diagram created by Alec Kouros, who's also, if anyone's on Twitter, he's a very well-known teacher scholar, and he created this graphic of the networked teacher, which looks a lot nicer than my whiteboard drawing, and it also is showing all the different influences on a teacher. And this is very, very important moving on from today. I know you as a district are embarking on quite a few new initiatives, iPad initiatives, Chromebook. To help model, I'm actually presenting for the first time from my Chromebook I got on Tuesday, just to kind of put myself at risk and to understand, as I always like to do, what it's like to feel like sort of out of your comfort zone, which was pretty far out of it, but so far, tap wood, we're doing okay. This is a list of weekly Twitter chats that happen, and you can get a Twitter chat 24 hours a day on any sort of specialty area, whether it is elementary computer specials, elementary art, reading specialist. There's a constantly curated list. And you can see as well, I know you've gone Google Apps for Education. This is an open Google Doc that anyone can edit. And anytime I visit it, you can see right when I took this screenshot, there were 10 other viewers. It's always open, always available. And my slides will be linked for you as well, so you can link out to all these when you need to. There's a great retired librarian, his name is Cybraryman on Twitter. He curates as well a list of educational hashtags. One of those is MishEd, which I think happens every Wednesday, and all Michigan educators are talking about our problems of practice. You have two awesome Twitter accounts here that I've been following this week and interacting with, and are also internal resources that are going to help you beyond today. Now, I know Twitter, for some, you might not want to be on there, you might not want to log in and participate as someone posting, which is not a problem. There's this great tool called Tagboard. It's just tagboard.com, and with that, it allows you to put in any hashtag, and you can see the tweets that are coming up. So if you've never used Twitter before, you can get on Tagboard, and we'll use the hashtag for today. Whoops. Yep, I did it right. And we'll be able to see, did I do the right hashtag? Yes, okay. Once the Wi-Fi connects here, we'll be able to see everyone that is talking about the conference. And what's really neat with Tagboard, too, is you can sort of get a feel for the audience. No one's negative, so that's super exciting that everyone has positive things to say so far about what's happening today. And it's also an archive. So again, I didn't log into Twitter, there's no need to do that, but if you want to see what it's about, you want to see what these hashtags are, Tagboard is your friend to do that. Now, a couple of resources I want to point you to that you can visit later for your iPad initiatives and your Chromebook. Has anyone heard of Richard Byrne? Oh, fantastic. You will like me after this. If anyone emails me and says, what's the best app for X, Y, and Z? I point them to this site. It has everything you could imagine for any discipline, K-12. He curates not only Apple products, but also Google. So this is going to be a very, very great companion for you as you're going through. The Joan Gantz Cooney Center, she was instrumental in starting Sesame Street, and this is a think tank for early childhood education. If you're looking for resources, research, reports, the Joan Gantz Cooney Center is the #1 place to go. It's also a great resource to give to parents. Again, under the publications, there's articles that are specifically meant for parents who are using technology with their kids and how to mentor them, and for you as educators as well. Same thing with the Fred Rogers Center, another think tank. Great publications that I don't see out very often, but these are extraordinarily well-researched and funded initiatives that are going to really equip you with some not only tools, but the research behind that as well. The Horizon Report. Has anyone heard of the Horizon Report? Another think tank that every year publishes what's on the horizon, what is educational technology, what is here now, and what's coming ahead. What's here now that you know of, so you know you're not alone, bring your own device and cloud computing, which is Google Apps for Education, is here. It's now. And then they go on to project a couple different other things that are going to be in the future. Games and gamification, learning analytics, which many of you are familiar with all the student data initiatives that are happening. If you go to the report, there's very thorough information on each of those. And what I also appreciate about the Horizon Report is they don't only talk about the trends and what's new and hot, but the challenges as well. It's grounded in reality, which I am all too familiar with the way education is nowadays, of the challenges. And these give you some ways to work with or against and for things through the Horizon Report. Very great resource. Another one, since I have about 1 minute left, is I put a shout out to my students on on Facebook the other day, since Google Apps for Education is fairly new to me and Chromebooks. And one of my former students, Jason, is a teacher in Seoul, Korea, and he curated this amazing list for you. So I highly encourage you to go to this list, and he has a ton of links for, you name it, getting to know your Chromebook or Google Apps for Education. Keyboard shortcuts, he's got a link to that. Another thing that as you're getting used to the new technology, and I will confess, just so you know, I did do the actual presentation itself on my MacBook, which I'm used to working with. But when I put it on the Chromebook, everything looks the same. And I made some updates to it this morning, and I could be on my phone looking at it. And that's the thing I absolutely love about Google Apps for Education and any of the Google Docs, is that I don't have to worry about my laptop crashing. I don't have to worry about not having access. I have access to it everywhere and can change it. And that really has changed the way I work, especially when it comes to writing in what used to be Word, but now Google Docs. Another great tool is something called IFT. Does anyone use IFT? Handful of people? IFT is a service that allows you to connect Google Drive to a lot of other things. So, and we're talking about proficiency and efficiency as teachers, exploring IFT as a tool, it does things like if someone submits a form, so if you're thinking about using Google Forms for students, then it will text your phone, or then it will send you a tweet if you use Twitter. You can connect this to this. Absolutely incredible tool. I know technology takes a lot of time. This takes a lot of the time away. You set up paths for things to connect, and then they just run. Coming up on Tuesday of next week is the Michigan Google Summit. Now, I know you have PD this day, but that's the great thing about Twitter. A lot of people from this conference are going to be tweeting and sharing, and all the resources from the day are going to be live streamed and then archived. So, bookmarking this as another resource, since I'm only here to talk for 5 minutes, will be a place that you can go once you have a little bit more time to process. And so you'll see a lot of people tweeting about that next Tuesday. Also, we work really hard in the College of Education, knowing that you need your outside of school PD hours to try to do as many free conferences that we can. We have one coming up on November 15th. It's a Saturday. There's many different sessions on Google there, and we also have a fabulous keynote. Her name's Rebecca Garcia. She's a young woman who created a coding camp and a coding initiative in New York City. She's going to be our keynote, and then we have a full day of workshops and presentation. So that's a free to attend thing up in East Lansing on November 15th. And I just wanted to end with this screenshot from something I did yesterday. I was presenting up in Lansing on a Women in STEM panel. And the woman sitting next to me works at Microsoft, and she brought her niece. Her name was, I think, Kelsey, to the conference. It was wonderful, number one, to have a student. We were talking about how can we help students, and we always talk about them, but it's very rarely, especially for me, being where I am in higher ed, to have a student in the room. And one thing that she said that really struck me is she said that everyone is telling me that I need technology, or technology is a field that I should go into, but I don't really know what that means. I know I can use technology to text or to email, but I don't know any careers that would use technology. And it sort of struck me as a reminder that we as educators need to be very transparent about the work that we do in technology. I think of jobs nowadays, and there's very few that would not include some form of technology. My friend's a farmer. They set up the Square ordering site for their farm. You as educators are using technology. So being more transparent with our students is going to help model for them these 21st century skills that we hear about, and giving them something to look at to understand how this device in this situation can be abstracted out to any career that they're going to do in the future. So transparency was something that I learned from her yesterday, and I appreciate your time and attention this morning, or this afternoon now. You have a fantastic afternoon ahead of you. I looked at all the schedules. Bookmark, now I'll give you a quick tip if you're new to Chrome. An easy way to bookmark is just to drag. I clicked on the little security icon up there and drag the bookmark down to my bookmark tools. Very easy tip. So everything I showed you today, you can just bookmark that across and keep bookmarking as you're in your sessions this afternoon. You have my Twitter handle, so now that you know me here, you're always welcome to email or tweet me, and I'm happy to help in any way I can. So thank you, and have a great afternoon.